My sister ruined my wedding on purpose. The happiest day of my life lasted exactly 43 minutes. That's how long it took my sister to destroy everything I'd spent 2 years building. By sunset, my marriage was over. Half my family had turned against me. The police had been called. And my sister was standing in the middle of my wedding reception, smiling. But the most shocking part? She didn't ruin my wedding because she hated my husband. She ruined it because she believed the life I had should have been hers. I didn't understand that until it was almost too late. My name is Olivia, and my sister Emma is only 18 months older than me. Growing up, everyone thought we were best friends. We looked alike, shared clothes, finished each other's sentences. From the outside, we were the perfect sisters. Only I knew the truth. Emma never wanted to have what she already had. She wanted what I had. When I made the soccer team, she quit volleyball and joined soccer. When I started dating someone, she suddenly became interested in him too. When I bought my first apartment, she spent months complaining that hers wasn't nice enough. My parents always laughed it off. That's just Emma. No, that was Emma. And everyone kept making excuses for her. When Ethan proposed after 5 wonderful years together, I honestly thought Emma had finally changed. She cried, she hugged me, she said, "I'm so happy for you." For the first time in years, I believed her. That was my biggest mistake. The wedding planning lasted almost 2 years. Emma insisted on helping with everything. She wanted to choose flowers, taste cakes, visit venues, meet photographers. At first, I appreciated it. Then strange things started happening. Our florist suddenly canceled. The replacement charged almost double. Our photographer claimed I had canceled the contract. I hadn't. Someone had emailed him pretending to be me. Then our wedding invitations disappeared. All 80 of them. We had to print new ones. Every problem seemed random. Every problem somehow involved Emma trying to fix it afterward. I ignored the feeling in my stomach. I told myself I was imagining things. 6 weeks before the wedding, Ethan said something that stayed with me. "Does Emma always ask so many questions about me?" "What do you mean?" "She keeps texting me." I laughed. "About wedding stuff?" "So she says." He showed me a few messages. They seemed harmless. Questions about tuxedo colors, gift ideas, wedding surprises. Nothing inappropriate. Still, something felt strange. I convinced myself I was overthinking. 3 weeks later, I came home early from work. Emma was sitting in my kitchen drinking coffee with Ethan. Neither of them expected me. The room went silent. Emma smiled first. "We were discussing your wedding gift." Ethan nodded immediately. "She wanted to surprise you?" I believed them, mostly because I wanted to. Looking back, that was the moment I should have started asking questions. Instead, I apologized for interrupting them. The night before the wedding, Emma insisted I stay at my parents' house. "It's tradition," she said. "We'll have one last girls' night." We watched old family videos, ordered pizza, laughed until midnight, before going to sleep. She hugged me. "I love you, Liv." "I love you too." She held the hug a little longer than usual, almost as if she knew something I didn't. The wedding morning was perfect. Blue skies, soft breeze, not a single cloud. Everyone kept saying how lucky I was. My makeup artist finished early. The photographer captured beautiful pictures. Even my father, who almost never cried, wiped away tears when he saw me in my dress. "You look just like your mother," I smiled. For a moment, everything felt exactly the way I'd imagined since I was a little girl. The ceremony couldn't have been more beautiful. Ethan looked at me as if I were the only person in the world. His voice shook during his vows. Mine did too. When we kissed, The guests stood and applauded. I thought we'd made it. I thought nothing could ruin this day anymore. I couldn't have been more wrong. The reception began with music, laughter, and champagne. People danced, children ran between the tables. My mother kept telling everyone this was the happiest day of her life. Emma was everywhere, greeting guests, helping the caterers, taking photos. She looked like the perfect maid of honor. Then she picked up the microphone. "I have a little surprise," she said with a smile. Everyone clapped. I smiled too. I thought she'd prepared a sweet speech. Instead, she looked directly at Ethan, then at me. I think every marriage should begin with complete honesty. The room became strangely quiet. My heart skipped a beat. Emma reached into her purse, pulled out a thick envelope, and said the words that changed everything. "Olivia, before you celebrate, don't you think your husband should explain who this woman is?" She dumped dozens of photographs onto the head table. Every guest stood up to see them. I picked one up with trembling hands. My blood turned to ice. The man in the pictures looked exactly like Ethan, and he was holding another woman in his arms. For a moment, I couldn't hear anything. The music stopped. The laughter disappeared. It felt as if every person in the room was staring directly at me. My hands were shaking so badly that I dropped the photograph onto the table. It landed face up. There was Ethan, holding a blonde woman, kissing her, walking into what looked like a hotel. The date printed in the corner was only 3 weeks earlier. Someone whispered behind me. "Oh my God," another guest muttered. I knew he was too perfect. Emma folded her arms and looked at me with fake sympathy. "I'm so sorry you had to find out this way." I turned to Ethan. He looked completely confused. "I've never seen these pictures before." "Then explain them," my father shouted. "I can't, because they're not real." The room erupted. Half the guests believed him. The other half didn't. My mother burst into tears. Ethan stepped toward me. "Liv, please look at me." I wanted to, but every time I looked at the photos, my heart broke a little more. Then something unexpected happened. My grandfather quietly stood up. At 82 years old, he rarely spoke. But when he did, everyone listened. He picked up one of the photographs, adjusted his glasses, then frowned. "This shadow is wrong." The room fell silent. "What?" Emma asked. Grandpa pointed to the picture. "If the sunlight is coming from this direction, why is his shadow behind him?" No one answered. Then our wedding photographer walked over. He studied the photographs one by one. Finally, he looked at me. "These aren't original prints." He flipped one over. The back still had fresh adhesive marks. "They've been edited." Emma's face lost its color. The photographer continued. "I edit photos every day. Someone combined different pictures to make these." Suddenly, every eye turned toward Emma. She laughed nervously. I just received them anonymously." "Really?" a voice answered from the back of the room. Everyone turned. It was Emma's boyfriend, Ryan. He looked devastated. His hands were trembling. "I know where those pictures came from." Emma's eyes widened. "Ryan, don't." He ignored her. "I found them on Emma's laptop 2 nights ago." The room became completely silent. I thought she was making some kind of joke. His voice cracked. "But she admitted she was going to stop this wedding." Emma shook her head. "He's lying." Ryan pulled out his phone. "I recorded our conversation because I couldn't believe what I was hearing." He pressed play. Emma's voice filled the reception hall. "If Olivia can't have the perfect life, then nobody will think mine is a failure." People gasped. Ryan kept the recording playing. Emma laughed in the audio. "Mom and Dad always loved Olivia more. Today, everyone will finally feel sorry for me instead." My mother's face turned white. My father looked as though someone had punched him. Emma began crying. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. But nobody believed her anymore. For years, she had hidden her jealousy behind fake smiles. Today, the mask had fallen. One by one, our relatives walked away from her. My father spoke first. "You didn't ruin a wedding today." He looked directly into her eyes. "You destroyed your own family." Emma tried reaching for my hand. I stepped back. Not because I hated her, because I no longer recognized the sister I had spent my entire life defending. The reception remained quiet for several minutes. Then Ethan took my hand. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. "I would understand if you never trusted me again." I squeezed his hand. I trust the man who stood here and told the truth, even when everyone doubted him. The guests slowly began applauding. Someone started the music again. Then another couple walked onto the dance floor. Within minutes, the celebration returned, not because the pain was gone, but because the lies finally were. Months later, Emma wrote me a long letter asking for forgiveness. I cried while reading it. But forgiveness and trust are not the same thing. I forgave her. I couldn't carry that anger forever, but I never allowed her back into my life. Some people think the worst betrayal comes from strangers. They're wrong. The deepest wounds are often caused by the people who know exactly where your heart is, because they're the ones who know exactly how to break it. And that's how my sister tried to ruin my wedding on purpose. She failed, because in the end, the truth stayed standing long after her lies fell apart.